Hi, so today I'm reading from My Father's Husband. I'm reading the engagement scene, which is rather a personal scene for me as an author. The setting is that Celia has been working like crazy and has decided to try and surprise Jason with a home cooked meal. And of course, she wants to look great and dress up and set the scene and everything, so it's just perfect. So she's running a little bit crazed, trying to get dinner prepared by the time he gets home. And just as she is doing the final touches, he calls to let her know that his car broke down and he needs her to come pick him up. I ran out of the house without changing, only stopping to add flip-flops to my ensemble and turn off everything on the stove. I figured that I would change and light candles while the food was reheating. Let's call it Plan C. I hated reheated food. The entire 10-minute drive to Coronado had me steaming. Nothing settled me down. Not the beautiful sunset that turns the sky pink and purple as I crossed the bridge to Coronado over San Diego. Not the lush greenness of Coronado as I entered the island. I tried counting to 10 about 80 times. This was not a good sign. When I pulled up in front of the restaurant, I couldn't see Jason. I passed the building and entered the parking lot next to it, which sat facing the bay and the San Diego skyline. I parked and paused. If Jason was inside the restaurant, I'd have to call him. I was not going into the restaurant looking the way I did. Just then I spotted him sitting on a park bench in a little grass area that was next to the restaurant. A favorite spot of mine, it had a fantastic view of the calm bay waters and the lights of downtown San Diego. I honked the horn and was rewarded by Jason turning around. When he saw me in the car, he waved me over. I responded with a razor-sharp shake of my head and a hand motion signaling him to come over to the car. He just smiled, shook his head, and beckoned me again. I sighed. If there was any of this evening to salvage, being pissy was not going to get it done. So I got out of the car and approached the bench, arms wrapped around myself against the cold January wind. "Hey babe, let's go," I said in greeting. He looked up at me and gave a lopsided grin. Jason scooted over on the bench and patted the space next to him. "Why don't we sit and enjoy the view for a little while?" Gritting my teeth, I complied. I figured we could spare a minute and a half to enjoy the view. What the hell? As I settled next to him, he slid his arm around my shoulders, pulling me in close. "Okay, maybe this wasn't so bad. What a beautiful night. Do you think that when we're 50, we'll still come here and enjoy the view?" Jason asked. "Sure," I said with a sigh. "But I bet the view will be different." Jason gave a low chuckle. "Watch it, Celia," I said to myself. "Not the best day, see?" "It was fine. We sent the majority of guests packing, so the hotel is nicely at low occupancy for a few days. That's good for a change." "Yes," I pulled away a little to turn and look at him. "Ready to go? I'm cold." "Oh, honey, I'm sorry. Let me take care of that for you," he said as he started to shrug out of his jacket. "You know, I just wanted to take care of you." And suddenly he wasn't just shrugging out of his jacket to drape it over my shoulders. He was getting on his knees in front of me, with the golden, green, and red lights of the evening skyline behind him, and stars shining in his eyes. In his hand was an open black velvet jewelry box. Like any intelligent, capable, and successful female, my heart raced, and my hands flew to my messy hair as if touching it could make it look better. "You're doing this now?" I exclaimed with a heavy dose of panic in my voice. Jason just smiled bigger and held out the box, which I couldn't help but notice contained a beautiful princess-cut emerald set in an antique Art Deco setting of white gold that basically screamed, "Made for Celia." "I am doing this now. I've been waiting, hoping for a moment to catch you unaware, a moment to catch you with your mind distracted." Tears were welling up in my eyes, and the emerald ring wavered and floated in front of me. "I love you, Celia. I want to spend the rest of my life with you, taking care of you, laughing with you, and sitting here as a creaky old couple. Will you marry me?" For a moment I looked at him, and I could see us, as he described, sitting on this very bench, holding wrinkled hands and watching time go by. I leaned forward, took his face in my hands, and kissed him softly on the mouth. I could feel him trembling.